Hi, my name is James. James Loves Games. What's up, everybody, for a special Wednesday edition of live streaming. I'm not usually here on Wednesdays, but we have got something really special. Adepticon 2025 is going on in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And they're going to be showing a lot of cool new stuff. Excuse me. Old man coughs. What's up? Neil, how interesting can a live stream of hammers be? Depends on what the hammers do, really. You can do a lot with a hammer. I eat orphans. You're a Warhammer fan? Yes, sir. Or ma'am. Probably sir. Probably not a lot of ma'ams eating orphans, but that's just a outdated gender stereotype. But yes, all this over here is Warhammer biz. So I've recently made my own little gaming table and put it behind me in my office. And yeah, I'm slowly working through my vast number of armies and painting them slowly, very slowly. But they will have color eventually at some point. So here we are. But yeah, welcome. I eat orphans. I hope somebody doesn't take that out of context. It's a person. It's not me. I don't do that. So yeah, we're starting up. They're actually streaming it live on Twitch, and I keep refreshing. They haven't gone online yet. I don't know if it's just because I'm old, but I really prefer doing stuff on YouTube. Most of the time when there's live streams on YouTube, people set it up early and you can just sort of click on it and hang out, and it unnerves me whenever they have just nothing going on over here. So I'm just going to wait and refresh Twitch over here like such. Wait, what did I do? There it is. Yeah. So we just waiting. Neil, I eat orphans of Kos. Yeah. Don't we all? Don't we all? Actually, I eat orphans. I was just marveling at my own organizational skills, which are admittedly, for most of the 40 years of my life, were very lacking. But every now and then I get little sparks of brilliance. I've been really hooked on Spearhead. And so I printed out a lot of war scrolls for the different spearheads, and just to have easy rules references on the table that you can kind of mark up with a dry erase. And so I've recently organized all of my spearhead cards into little groups of all the spearheads that me and my friends play with. And I've got my battle tactics cards and a couple sets of dice. So I'm so happy that it all fit into this box really well that I just happen to have sitting around. So that's always fun. I eat orphans. This is just another name change you probably don't remember, but I was Cheeky Breeky about 2 years ago. Cheeky Breeky. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. Yes, Cheeky Breeky. Very happy. You were around when I was streaming stuff on Xbox before I went down the PS5 dark side. Or light side, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, Neil and I Eat Orphans reunited at last. But yeah, it's good to see you, Cheeky Breeky. That's fun. So yeah, we're just sitting around waiting, chit-chatting. I can do some predictions and wish list stuff for the stream today. I am really hoping obviously, like whenever they do these things, they're going to have 40K stuff, Age of Sigmar stuff, Kill Team stuff. They usually just introduce new stuff for just about everything they got going on. What I think they're probably going to show, I think me and my Warhammer friends are kind of in agreement that they're probably going to be showing a lot of like Chaos Army stuff for 40K. Probably some Thousand Suns. Maybe some World Eaters. The World Eaters desperately need some new models. a lot of those corn berserkers, they need to be updated bad. They need to glow up like the Emperor's Children had a glow up. And I think that's probably what they're going to do. Because I've seen a lot of stuff in the rumor mill, things that they show. Like, they look all pointy and chaosy. So I'm just going to... I feel like they're kind of going that way. Because I feel like the chaos factions have been slightly neglected compared to a lot of others in recent years. Especially since 10th came out. So they're probably going to show some World Eaters, which is cool. My friend Clint plays World Eaters. So it would be neat to see some new models over there. Some new Thousand Sun stuff would be cool as well. I'm eating well because of Tau. They released that new detachment that I love, the experimental weapons. I'm really excited to get the group together and play with my Tau army and just blow everything to smithereens. So that'll be cool. I don't really have a huge wish list for 40K, honestly. I feel like I'm in a pretty good place there. Sigmar is where it's at for me, though. Like, I'm in love with Age of Sigmar, especially Spearhead. I have a feeling they'll probably announce a couple new Spearheads. The trend is they're going to have like 2 for each faction. And so if I had my druthers wish list, like top wish list, you can see my little floaty ship here that's sort of like half primed, half zenithal, and my bubble boys. I'm hoping for some Karajan Overlords love. I know they showed at the Las Vegas Open, they showed their kind of roadmap, and they had some Karajan stuff on the horizon. So I'm hoping they're going to show off some new models, which they desperately need. There's only like, I think there's less than 20 different units for the whole army. So hopefully some new stuff there would be really cool. A second Spearhead would be epic. Because I would snatch that up in a heartbeat. Obviously, like if they did like a whole new like box set with like special edition codex and all that, not codex, but battle tome, that would be really cool as well. I would have to scoop that up too. Kind of like what they did with Soulblight Gravelords. They had like a new box, and then they had a new Spearhead sort of releasing at the same time, which they'll probably, I'm hoping they're going to announce the pre-order date for that at some point. But yeah, my number one absolutely would love to see is some Karajan Overlords love. That'd be really cool. Neil, last time I remember Cheeky was going through Dark Souls 3. Yes. Mr. 7. I can't say that. Time for more monopose Space Marine characters. Yes. Get some more of this. Or maybe some more of this. Or some more of this. You know, I'm not really a Space Marines kind of guy. I like some of the factions, but I'm kind of on the Space Marines are a bit boring camp. I'm all about the Xenos. I'm tempted, not so much for the rules, but for the models themselves. This is far into the future, maybe not into the 41st millennium, but I'm tempted to get one of those Gene Stealer cults. Combat patrols. They look pretty cool. I really like their videos. Not videos. It's been a long day. I like their vehicles. They're really cool. All the mining equipment and the motorcycles. It's a pretty cool vibe. It's different from anything else that I have, really. Really neat. I eat orphans right now. I've been sitting around my fully assembled Emperor's Children box and painting my Nemesis Claw box. Oh, that's awesome. Yes. That's pretty cool. I don't, the Emperor's Children and all the like pink noise machine kind of stuff that they do. It's not really my taste, but I can appreciate just how awesome that box is and how cool those models are. They really went all out with that set, and that's why I'm thinking like if they did that with World Eaters and Thousand Suns, that would just be really epic. I really want to see some more stuff like that. I wouldn't get it myself, but I think it's really cool. I like looking at pictures of it anyway. I eat orphans. Yeah, Neil, it's been a while since I stopped it in, but I think I caught the tail end of a fruit game James was playing. Oh, yes. Suica game. Suica game is my, as my regulars know, that if I'm playing Suica game, that means I'm not having a good day. I need to unwind and listen to some fruity music, and just, it puts me in a happy place. And sometimes I need that. That and Balatro. It's like Suica game Balatro streams are just, James is unhappy and needs a boost. So, but yeah, that was one of the best, like $5 and under game purchases I've ever made with Suica game. I've put more time into that than a lot of the games I have. Keith Menzer, what's up? This I expected not. You did not. Franco Aguilera, what's up? How's it going? Glad you guys are here. Let's check the let's check what they're doing. Refresh. I don't know if I even need to refresh this or if it's just going to pop up anyway. Like I said, this makes me nervous that they don't just, it doesn't just show up. You'd think it would be like, you know, ahead of time or whatever. Oh, it's right there. See, I don't get Twitch. I don't get it. There it is, full screen. All right. Cool. There it is. We're waiting. And I don't really need their chat. Whoa. Hold on. There we go. All right. So it should just start playing. There we go. Old dog learned a new trick. So yeah. Exciting stuff. But yeah, Carriage on Overlord stuff would be really cool. I'm in love with that. I like the fly shooty guys. Other than that, of the spearheads that we play, like I'm good with Stormcast. They got so much cool stuff recently. I wouldn't be surprised if they showed nothing of theirs. I heard some people speculating that they're definitely going to show Idaneth. Is it Idaneth or Idaneth? I say Idaneth in my head. I don't ever really talk about it out loud with people, but so I don't know how it's pronounced. But Idaneth Deepkin and Night Haunt were on the roadmap as well. So they're probably going to show a little bit of something there. They're both probably going to get another spearhead, like I said, since their MO is to kind of release 2 of each, it seems. I doubt they're both going to get like a huge box like Soulblight Gravelords did. Maybe just some new spearheads. But I don't know. Definitely nothing new with Skaven because they're eating well already. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know about Sigmar, what they're going to show. But Carriage on Overlords is definitely what will get me pumped up. So if I see any Bubble Boys, that's going to make me happy. Franco Aguilera, this time I need you guys. Tomorrow I have a very important work interview for a U.S. company. Please send luck and best wishes for this humble hollow. We wish you luck, Franco. That's awesome. I hope you get it. I know you'll crush it. Feel free to use me as a reference. I'll give you a glowing review and tell everybody what an awesome person you are and how friendly and intelligent and well-spoken and capable at whatever the job is that you are. Just have them call me at Vandalay Industries, and yeah, I'll I'll do you solid. Oh, so yeah, are they playing like music or anything? Like I don't. Look at this real quick. No, they're still offline. Settings. Quality. Let's put that. Advanced video stats, ad sets. Don't want that. All right. I guess we're good. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, good luck, Franco. I hope you get it. Job hunting is horrible, especially this day and age. I did a lot of that. Many years and many times and had many disappointments and some good luck here and there. But yeah, it's rough out there. It really is. That's why I'm making YouTube stuff and hoping that takes off. So yeah. Anything else? They've been really releasing a lot of cool Kills Team stuff with the new edition. I have a couple Kill Teams. I've yet to actually like play Kill Team. I like the concept. I think I really want to learn. I want to learn the rules and play it with my homies because I've got like 3 Kill Teams actually when you consider the the Pathfinders that I have, the Tau Pathfinders, are also a kill team. So I could put some kill team games together. Just gotta, find that most precious of commodities, time, to do that. And time between 3 middle-aged men with full-time jobs and children, it's a rare thing indeed, especially when they don't live the same place I live. So yeah, miss the days of being 20 in college and being surrounded by friends all day every day. The good old days, as they say. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Yeah. Everything's fine over here. How are you? What's up, Brett Play Game? Hey fam, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, Wednesday stream. It's new. I'm gonna play with some dice because I'm feeling fidgety. Got some beautiful green ones. Got some beautiful red ones, and these are actually really cool. I love Chessex dice, by the way. They come in these nice little cases, and these actually glow in the dark. Which, when I got them, I thought, oh, that's so cool. They glow in the dark, but like, from a functional standpoint, when am I going to be rolling dice in the dark? Not so often. But they do glow in the dark. I might hook up some black lights or something and to really showcase the glowing dice. Yeah. Not much longer now. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Usually I'm chock full of interesting insights, But here we are. That Soulblight Gravelords box does look pretty cool. Like, I was seriously tempted when I saw it. All little skellies. It would be really cool to field an all skeleton army like that. And I'm really, really, really interested to see the spearhead rules for that new all skeleton spearhead. I have no idea how that's going to play. I'm hoping it's going to be different enough from the other vampire spearhead, just because like it's already very skeleton heavy and very dependent on those skeletons for stuff. So I'm curious to see how they're going to do something different with that to, distinguish from the first one. Keith Minzer, you can roll dice in the dark if you have a good enough DM who wants to make things atmospheric. Yes, you can. Franco Aguilera, have you heard about the game Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes? Yes, I actually have it. Many years ago. It's one of those. Michael Jimenez, thanks for the sub. It's actually one of like 30 games on Steam that I have that I've not even played. I think I got it on sale like 5 years ago. For those of you that don't know, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It's basically like one person or people have instructions on how to disarm a bomb, and another person or people have to disarm the bomb in the game. So it's like you have to communicate effectively enough to disarm the bomb. It sounds like a really good way to yell at your friends and family. But I need to play that one, honestly. I need to get somebody over here and just do a live stream of Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. That would actually be really fun. I'm going to write that down. Thank you for mentioning that, Franco, because that's going deep. Keep talking. Keep talking, stream. Keith, I like being 40 so much more than being 20. I'm so much stronger, much more experienced, and more knowledgeable. Though I thought I was stronger and smarter at 20, I'd kick that guy's butt. Oh yeah, for real. I'm the same way. I don't like as a person, as like I definitely like my life better now than when I was 20, but I certainly I did enjoy being in college and just having no shortage at all of fun things to do all day every day, which was reflected in my GPA. Because, living in the dorms where everybody just has an open door policy and you'll be playing a video game and somebody walks by your room and it's just like, hey, let's hang out and play video games. It was just hang out and play video games for like a solid year, my first year of college. It was really fun. Neil, I'd prefer to be 40 and not 48. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Being 40 does have its setbacks. I be 41 this summer, but I certainly noticed like in my 20s, up through my 20s, like I could just do whatever I want, eat whatever I want, not exercise or diet or anything, and I was nothing changed about me at all. And then I hit 30, and it was like 30th birthday, my metabolism just kind of took a nosedive. And then I hit 40 and my metabolism just stopped. And I'm just tired all the time. And it's like I need to keep track of what goes in much, much more than even at 30. So I'm telling y'all, creatine. Yes, Keith, I'm going to write that down too. Creatine. I forgot to write it down the other day. My wife and I we've both been lamenting this recently. I think like having Biscuit, having the dog is, it has tested us more than anything in recent memory. It's been very tiring, especially for my wife, because she's at home all day with him and he's obsessed with her and, he never leaves her alone. So, it's like we had 2 kids and they got to a certain age, 8 and 10. And it's like, okay, they're pretty much like within the environment of the home, self-reliant and can take care of themselves. And so we don't have to really monitor them so much. We can actually like leave the house for a little bit and they don't, burn it down or kill themselves. So that was nice. And then we got the puppy and it was like, oh gosh, we're back to square one. So yeah. Franco Aguilera, it's always better to be young and beautiful rather than old and poor. Well, yeah. I mean, old is fine. I'm still here. Knock, knock. So I'd rather be old than the alternative. But, Neil, my hair didn't even make it to 30. Mine's making a rapid retreat. So every day I get a few more thoughts of when's the cutoff here? How much like Vegeta do I really want to look before I just say goodbye to all this and just go full Space Marine? I don't know, but I think about it a little bit every day. Keith, my hair didn't make it to 20. Biscuit's gonna burn the house down. He is. He's a menace. He's actually a really sweet dog, but he's got so much energy. Way more energy than the 2 of us. So it's yeah. Yeah. At least we save money on haircuts. I do too. I get a haircut like once every 3 years, and it's really just to feel nostalgic for the routine of getting a haircut, not really because I need it. I mean, I need it, but you know what I mean. Keith Minzer, how much like Vegeta do I really want to look? Well, Vegeta is the ideal male form. Agree to disagree. He's also like this tall. But Oh, it looks like they're still offline. Am I still doing this right? News for Warhammer Underworlds? Okay, so we're good. I wish they would play some music or something just to let me know. Okay, so it does say they're live. So there's that. So yeah, we wait. He's average height. What's up, Last Limping? Good to see you. Franco Aguilera, dude, you're awesome. And never forget, you are James Loves Games. I am James, and I love games. Digital and otherwise. Keith Minzer, nothing wrong with short kings, makes training easier. That's true. Clothes also fit better. So there's that. Easier to find. I've known some tall people that have trouble buying t-shirts that don't, show off their midriff. So yeah. Looks like they should be up in like 4 minutes or so. We're getting close. But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, really the only thing I want out of this is Karajan Overlords. Something. Just a taste. Just show me that something is on the horizon. More than just like a tiny, clue of a square of an image to tempt me. Like, show me some actual, like, a cool picture of a model that I can put on the wall. So yeah, Keith Menzer, I still have no idea why we were gathered here tonight. See new Warhammer stuff and hang out and chat. You catch up with solo leveling? No, I've not yet, Last Olympian. I was going to watch some tonight, but then I remembered we have the Adepticon preview. So here we are. Are we planning to take down Cobra Kai? I wouldn't even dare. I wouldn't dare try. I'm not to that level yet, honestly. But, that's not my wheelhouse. Taking down seemingly evil martial arts schools. It would be interesting to see the Karate Kid as like a Tokugawa era kind of drama where you have like competing schools of like ninjas or something, and less New Jersey accents. That'd be good. Yes, Sensei. I eat orphans. I just want Space Hulk back. It's been 10 years. Games Workshop, make a new Space Hulk and my wallet is yours. Yeah. I mean, that would be cool. I'm sure they're going to show a little something for everybody. I mean, everybody who's into Warhammer anyway. If you're not, then this is probably not the show for you, would be my guess. Let me check something real quick. Uno momento, por favor. Let me look at something real quick. All right. Yeah. Still waiting. We got 10,000, almost 11,000 people waiting. Why does it say offline? Is that me that's offline, I assume? I'm such a Twitch noob person. When do we see the return of Sanguinius? Oh, that would be cool. Oh, yeah. The Chaos Dwarves. I totally forgot. That was the big reveal, hint, rumor thing that they showed at the end of the Las Vegas Open was Chaos Dwarf stuff. And I had a thought that they were probably going to, lore-wise, for Age of Sigmar, show the Chaos Dwarves are making a resurgence, and then in order to combat the Chaos Dwarves, combining the Fire Slayers and the Karajan Overlords into one army, which would sort of even out the disparity that the Karajan Overlords have as far as like melee and the Fire Slayers' disparity with shooting. So it would make them kind of like a more fleshed out, well-rounded force. But it would water them both down, obviously, from doing what they do best. Just a thought, just a total speculation on my part of doing something like that. So that'd be cool. Keith Minzer, this is kind of how it plays out in the show: old school dojo fights, but in the valley. Yeah, it's like in the valley, bro. So I don't know what are we doing here. It's 9 o'clock. What are we doing? Oh wow, those numbers are pumping up. Need more DACA. I think we got enough DACA. So yeah, it's time. People in the Twitch chat are getting antsy. Let's go Idaneth. Where sound? Woo! This started? Refresh this. Just. Okay. We got ads. We got Nate Bargatze with his big dumb eyes. So yeah, I'll keep that muted for y'all's sake and mine, really. I don't really need to see an ad for DoorDash. Oh, yep, we're live up here. There we go.
If you've got any questions, do start with question right at the beginning, and it will help me filter out to try and see what everyone wants to ask.
Now, crucially, that is in the Twitch chat only. I know we're on YouTube.
All right, let's go.
But if you're in Twitch, please put your questions in there. We'll try to get as many of those answers as we possibly can as the show goes on. Now, we have so much to show you this evening. And in fact, we're going to give you a quick glimpse right now.
Oh, let's go. Oh, what's this? Death Guard? Something? Bone Reapers? Let's go.
That was very exciting.
But
I'm so excited.
You've seen the sizzle reel. It's now
In it,
time to
bruv.
jump straight into the old world with the Wood Elf realms.
Here we go.
Yeah, so the Wood Elves are the defenders of Athelloren. It's a highly elite force.
Oh, those are pretty cool.
Cavalry, lots of archers. You
I don't
get a
play Old
fantastic
World, but
battalion, as well as their arcane journal. Which
I appreciate
gives
good
you a
minis.
Background, regiments. We've got Orion in there. Loads of fantastic stuff.
Yeah, absolutely elite army on the tabletop. These guys are superb at shooting you off the table. Yeah, Alex is absolutely right. What he says there. We've also got the hero here, the Araloth Lord of Telson as well, who's coming alongside the Wood Elves. This guy was a coward in his youth, right?
Yes, he was a cowardly youth. However, having fallen from his horse and found an elf goddess,
So woody.
he then regained his courage and eventually went on to slay Morga the Corruptor.
A superb Lord level hero for your Wood Elf forces. This guy carries his bird into battle. Scarin the Eye Thief there can be sent across the battlefield to peck the eyes out of your enemies, which is great fun.
Peck
And
the
of course,
eyes out of your
alongside
enemies.
the
Always
Arcane
wanted to do
Journal,
that.
Which is coming for the Wood Elves, just like
Oh, that's really
every
cool
other army.
artwork.
A 48-page book dedicated to the Wood Elves with background, rules, historical recreations.
I like it.
You can fight in there. New heroes. We got Orion, King of the Woods, returns, leading his wild hunt, one of the armies of infamy.
That's a
there,
really cool model.
as well as magic items, new units which you can take as well, conversions from other units that exist. I tell you what, Alex, I'm super excited about the fact that beast packs are returning to the Wood Elf realms. You'll be able to field units of deepwood hounds, forest cats, sylvan boars, and even a bear of Lauren. So you can have a bear running around in your Wood Elf army. That sounds great.
Brilliant.
So there we are.
You mentioned
I can't
beasts.
bear the excitement.
Wood Elves aren't the only things that are coming
course.
to the old world. We've got the Beastmen Brayherds returning.
Yes.
Ooh.
Likewise, they've got a fantastic battalion there, stuffed full of everything you could think of that's a gore or a
Goatmen.
Absolutely right. Yeah, the Beastmen, of course, a wild force in Warhammer the Old World. Super powerful. Lots of cheap infantry running around all over the table, and some terrifying monsters.
The
as
guy from
well.
Warhammer said something
and
was
there's a brand
cheap.
new miniature coming for them as well. We've seen this one before. This is Kralmore, Prophet of Ruin. Tell me about this guy. Who is
So
he?
the Beastmen love might makes right. However, if you are mystical, magical, you tend to be given a bit of an easy ride. They love that. Kralmore is a prophet. He can, see the future, which has allowed him to stay one step ahead of his enemies. And we mentioned Orion before. Orion is currently hunting him, however, has been unsuccessful.
He's a powerful level 4 wizard, and that leering spirit that he accompanies into battle can be placed on the battlefield to cast devolving magic at enemies from afar. which
Are
is
they
quite good
bulletproof?
fun.
Well, there's
That's
no
right, pointing
bullets,
out both
so
the Wood Elves and the Beastmen are going to have
technically,
these,
yes.
huge ranges accompanying them. We've just shown you a selection here, so don't expect just this. There's loads more coming as well.
Beastmen
and of course, we've got the
Brayherds.
Arcane Journal for the Beastmen Brayherds.
Cool.
Again, big book full of lore, full of great maps. You like a map, Alex, you really do.
Lore.
We've got historical recreations of Kralmore taking on some Empire of Men troopers, new units, new heroes in there, new magic. You can take a herd stone for your force as well. Look, if you're a Beastman fan, you want to get this book. That's great. Now, Alex,
Yeah.
people kind of knew that Wood Elves and Beastmen were on the way
Oh,
because
yes.
they were the last two forces that were going to happen. But there's one force that people might not be expecting, right?
Oh, yes.
Let's take a look.
Grand Cathay is among the oldest civilizations in the world. Under the watch of my father, Sen Yang, the Celestial Dragon Emperor, Grand Cathay stands as a bulwark of harmony against the forces of darkness.
Oh, those are cool.
Now, as the hordes of chaos threaten to breach our sacred battlements, this haven of order prepares for war. Upon the walls of the great bastion are mustered countless soldiers, ingenious war machines, and other more esoteric defenders who stand ready,
Esoteric
determined to hold
defenders.
back the tide. Resolutely, I perform the duty bestowed on me by my divine father centuries ago. Through devout study of the twin powers of yin and yang, I master the elements and summon lightning from the heavens, striking our foes and inspiring all those who fight beneath my banner.
It's really cool artwork.
I am the master of the storm winds and the supreme matriarch of Nangao. I am Miao Ying. I am the storm dragon. This is Grand Cathay, our eternal empire.
Pretty cool. Big Chinese army. Those are cool models. Heed the call of the storm. That's neat.
That is amazing. I
Wow.
have genuine goosebumps
Wow.
after watching it.
What a video, what a range. Let's talk about it. So Grand Cathay is here marching into the old world. Alex,
Those big
Who are
statues are
Grand
So
really
Grand
neat.
Cathay is one of the oldest civilizations in the world of legend. They stood as sort of an eternal bulwark against the evils of the world. It's a land of cities, farms, great mountains, and it's had a sort of internal stability and harmony that the other nations tend to be in a level of turmoil because it's ruled by dragons, namely the celestial dragon emperor.
Gotta do what they say.
himself. And as you can imagine, having an immortal leader brings a bit of stability there.
that's what a great sort of idea and concept for a force, and it's a very different army to anything else you might see in Warhammer the Old World. They are an elite army, heavily armed and heavily armored. Even the basic troops are super elite. There's a mixture of troops, cavalry, war engines, terrifying monsters. And we're going to go through a few of them now because the battalion box set, which we see here,
Grand Cathay.
what a great
Sounds like a
scope of
shipping
infantry we've got
company.
in front of us. And first and foremost, let's talk about the infantry. Alex, the Jade Warriors. Who are they?
So the Jade Warriors are the well-equipped sort of core of a city's army. So they're known as the Jade Warriors because that stone is sort of sacred to the Dragon Emperor, and it's said to represent sort of the implacable nature of the Empire. They have pole arms, heavy armor, shields. They're formidable in the attack, but defense is where their strength truly lies.
These are, you're absolutely right, and that's
That
reflected
adds
in
a
the rules
really
as well.
different
These guys
flavor
have
to
the
the
all
old world.
defensive
It's pretty
stance
cool.
where if they remain stationary, they can re-roll ones in the combat phase on their saves, which is cool. Really cool thing to point out in this box set as well is that while you can build every single model with lots of different variation, one of the great varieties in the Jade Warriors that is every model you can choose a male or a female head as well. So you can have all your Jade Warriors can be female or male, up to you, which is really, really cool. But they're not just the only thing. They've got maybe the anvil of the army is the Jade Warriors, but let's talk about the Jade Lancers, the cavalry. These guys are special.
So yeah, if the Jade Warriors are the shield, these guys are the spear. They're the knights of the celestial host. They've been forged in battle and drawn from the most disciplined and skilled soldiers of the great cities. I mean, the wealthier cities can raise, multiple regiments of these guys, but most can, manage at least one. On the battlefield, basically, they are
Honestly,
able
that
to
cavalry is
charge
really
and
cool.
annihilate the enemy. They specialize in getting through the narrow passages and alleyways of the cities to counterattack.
They're absolutely devastating cavalry, Alex. On the charge, these guys can fight in an extra rank with their Cathayan Lancers, so that makes them super hitty. And also, the Cathayan Cataphracts rule lets this unit follow up from combat.
It'd be
and
cool to
counters
use those
charges
as a
next turn,
proxy
literally
for a
go straight
spearhead or
through units
something.
and into the next one. They are absolutely devastating.
Get 'em some round
but
bases.
If you don't want to get too close to your opponent like the Jade Lancers do, maybe you want to fancy taking some of these artillery pieces as well. Check these out, man.
Firecracker
So
Brigade.
all along the Great Bastion, you've got rocket launchers and cannons of all sizes. The rocket launchers, the Fire Rain rocket battery might be a little bit inaccurate, but they
You'll bring honor
are
to us
launching
all.
explosives great distances. So this fire rain rocket battery is a portable version of the war machine. It's crewed by disciples of the House of Smoke and Powder who specialize in the manufacturing of gunpowder. You'll notice gunpowder.
They brought the fireworks. They did.
So many cannon also exist, but the foremost is the Cathayan Great Cannon. Many of these are forged in Nangao, and they've got that wonderful dragon head shaped on the front. And one of my favorite things about this kit is that ogre loader.
It's just a great.
That is a
isn't
cannon.
it, the ogre loader. It is actually an upgrade for the kit for the artillery piece in terms of the rules.
Honestly,
He
these
helps,
guys would be a cool
protect your
proxy army
artillery
for
piece with
Cities of
gunpowder
Sigmar.
bombs. He can help the cannon move faster by lugging it along, and also it can allow it to shoot twice, once per game in one phase, which is pretty impressive. He loads it super fast. The grand cannon you see here does such devastating damage. It has thunderous impact on its shots, slowing down enemy units nearby where the shot landed. And the fire rain rocket battery can choose a multiple different types of ammunition, depending on whether it's going for big targets or for big units. It can do what it wants. My favourite detail here, I've got to point out on this picture, check out the guy at the back with the sort of the bamboo rocket who's smoking a pipe right next to the rocket.
That's brave.
What a hero. What a hero. Love this stuff. But that's the models that we've seen in the battalion. We've also got
He
some other
likes
stuff
to
as well.
live
This is
dangerously.
the Sky Lantern. Tell me about these.
Yes, so this is a beautiful centerpiece miniature. It's an intricately decorated construction of paper and silk and held aloft by a caged vermilion warbird, which basically has burning wings and forces all that hot air up.
Those
into it to
rifles
give
are
it
really
lift.
cool.
The crew then sit in an armored gondola and they're able to direct it using those sails on the side.
I feel like a giant
It's
paper
wonder of
lantern
Cathayan ingenuity.
wouldn't hold up well in a
Darby up on
battle.
one side and Grand Cathay on the other. You'd be hard pressed to see who's the best engineers. Now you can see in that gondola you've got a Lord Magistrate or Strategist, and these are the commanders of cities and the institutions of Grand Cathay. And they tend to lead from the back, and they can guide from the Sky Lantern using fans and banners.
This is great. The magistrate you see there is a hero choice for the force, and you can choose to mount him in a Sky Lantern if you want to. He can be on foot if you want to as well, or you can take your Sky Lantern without one of those inside if you want to as well. It's a huge, rare, heavy chariot basically on a new base size, which is quite cool. And you can equip the gunners on board with an array of gunpowder weapons and bombs, including the actual lantern itself has those huge Sky Lantern bombs underneath it, which are absolutely devastating. One of my favourite rules about this thing is the Eye of the Dragon rule, which lets Cathayan artillery use this model's line of sight, so the crew on board are directing the artillery fire for the rest of the force.
That's neat.
Which is fantastic. So
Just one thing
That is pretty cool.
This as well. is transfers.
Yes.
You'll have seen on all the banners. these
Very unique
wonderful,
design.
Intricate symbols, and as well there on the Sky Lantern. Those are all transfers.
absolutely good. You don't have to be a level 4 brush sorcerer to complete that. So there we go. Fantastic news for the Cathayan players. And that's not the only centerpiece model we've got. Of course, up next we've got the Cathayan
Those
Sentinels.
things are awesome.
This is just, look at the size of this thing, Alex. Tell me more.
These are great animated statues, and if legend is to be believed, they were all built by the Dragon Emperor himself many thousands of years ago to combat chaos. Now, the terracotta sentinels are crafted from magically charged red earth, and they tend to be found along the Great Bastion itself. However, sentinels can be found across Grand Cathay, anywhere. They've made
Honestly, if
various
they
stones,
put this
so
army in
granite
Age of
sentinels,
Sigmar,
which
I
are
would
the
buy
Sky
one.
Pass in the
These are
Mountains
really
of
cool
Morn.
models.
Obsidian sentinels defend the border against the blood nagas of Koresh, and warpstone sentinels formed from clay infused with warpstone dust sort of watch over the desert roads in the warpstone desert.
I tell you what's really cool as well, depending on which
Tree
one you go
Sentinel
for
missing
and
his
how you play
horse.
the miniature, they actually get different rules in the game as well. So the terracotta sentinel can regenerate.
That's really
while
neat.
the granite sentinel might have a better armor save, and the warpstone sentinel is going to sort of really badly affects the nearby enemy troops, decreasing their toughness, which is really horrible.
I might
These
buy
things
one
are
just to have it
huge,
as a centerpiece
rare
on the
behemoths,
shelf. That's just
and
really
just
cool.
great fun. You definitely want to have one in your force. But let's have a look at another centerpiece model here, the Shigengan Lord on the Great Spirit Long
Oh,
Arm.
dang.
So yeah, these guys tend to be the descendants of the celestial dragon, or dragon-blooded. They're natural sorcerers. They're just as skilled at wielding the elemental
She is
winds
indeed
as they are with
rocking the
blade.
dragon.
They're gifted with weapons and armor from the forges of Wei Jin, and they fight from the front. These guys are no slouches in combat.
Absolutely not, and they're basically warrior wizards. So these models can either be a hero or a lord choice, and depending on which one you go for, it could be a level 1 wizard or a level 2 wizard, and those can all be increased. So you could have a level 4 Shigengan Lord if you wanted to, all flying around in this beautifully sculpted Longmar flying beast. Just a wonderful sort of both warrior and wizard, general to lead your force, and a stunning centerpiece model too. But other choices for your heroes include the Gate Masters of the Celestial Cities.
So these are the leaders of the Jade Warriors. They've earned their position through skill and experience, and they must have served.
I could
for
see
at
this
least a
army
decade.
pulling a lot
They're
of
the
people
masters
into
of
the old
defensive
world.
warfare and discipline.
Absolutely right. They're battle-hardened veteran leaders for your
Very
forces.
cool.
Again, they could be heroes or or lords. You get 2 in the box, enough to make a fighters if you want to, including all the bits to make a battle standard bearer. And you can thank the Dragon Emperor for the fact that that is a transfer there, so you don't have to hand paint that yourself. These guys are wonderful leaders to have in your force to direct your models in play. Now, of course, alongside this, we are going to see the Grand Cathay Arcane Journal as well.
Indeed, so this has got the history of Grand Cathay, the Celestial Dragon Emperor, including lots of little bits of information that you might not know, such as that it was the Dragon Emperor who shared gunpowder with the Sky Titans, and a long and storied friendship with Nehekara, until events that we will not mention. It's got the philosophy of Grand Cathay, the armies, the formation of the Great Warpstone Desert, the trade, exploration. There's a bit of a focus on the armies of Nangao here, and that's the anchor at the western end of the Great Bastion. It's also got a lot on the Fengshi sorcery, which sees the winds of magic split into 2, yin and yang. Yang mages study control of the winds of magic, producing bright and vibrant spells, whilst yin is darker and more dangerous.
Both new magic laws, which you can
Like
take
me.
for your wizards inside the Arcane Journal as well. This Arcane Journal is a bit unusual. It's not maybe like the other Arcane Journals we've seen, as it's more of a sort of standard army list. So much like you'd see in the Forces of Fantasy or the Ravening Hordes books, that every single model that's coming alongside will have their full rules in here, full special rules for the army, unique weapons, magic items, everything you need to field your Grand Cathay army in a game of Warhammer the Old World is in this book. So if you're going to collect an army, you need to get yourself a copy of this book as well.
Yes.
But that's not the only thing. We've got one more thing.
But
to show you
wait,
for the
there's
army.
more.
Take a look at this.
Oh my
and
gosh.
so is this.
This is Miao Ying, the commander of the armies of the Great Bastion, ruler of northern Cathay from her seat of power in Nangao. So for centuries, she's fought against the servants of the Dark Gods,
That
hobgoblins,
is wicked.
barbarians, you name it. She was assigned to her position by the Celestial Dragon himself, and is often considered the favourite amongst her siblings due to the power she wields and duties she bears. And she's somewhat aware of it. She's forever dealing with the Lords of Nangao, because even when you are a dragon, politics and scheming never escape.
Political
Now, right,
dragon.
Mao Ying's form is as a dragon, and sometimes she can transform herself into the human form to I guess less terrify her troops as well. What's important as well? I mean, look at that beautiful miniature, isn't
dang.
it? I think it's important
This
to say as
whole
well, that
army
model
has
we've
just
seen, the dragon,
sick
Mao Ying
models all
here,
through
and
it.
all the models we've seen in this entire range are all plastic.
Indeed.
Which is fantastic news. So it's going to be much easier to make your miniatures. Mao Ying is a powerful wizard. She can transform herself from a dragon to a human whenever she wants to. And she's a supreme matriarch of the Nangao, and so she can promote warriors around her to be her celestial dragon guard, making them better in a fight as well. Just a stunning centerpiece model for your army. That whole collection is just incredible.
The intricacy, the detail, it is beautiful.
Yeah,
Dang,
there we
that's
go.
really
That is
cool.
Grand Cathay coming soon for Warhammer the Old World. A very exciting release. And yeah, you guys weren't sure if we're going to show you everything. We just have, so there we go. Exciting stuff. We've got a bit of time now to go over to Question Corner. Ed, what's the chat talking about at the moment?
Well, first off, I would like to shout out a few of the locations people talked about earlier. We've got people from all over the UK, loads of states being listed across the US and Canada, Paris, Australia, Norway, all over the world. It's fantastic. I do have some old world related questions that I've got to though. How much of the release is in resin? Is a big one that we're being asked.
Well, everything we've just seen is plastic.
Yep.
There we go. That's it. If there's other models coming in the future that we haven't seen, we don't know about at the moment, we don't know. But everything we've just
Neil,
seen
Warhammer
is
is my
entirely
thing, but I do
plastic.
appreciate great
Multi-part miniatures,
designs.
loads of
Yeah,
options,
no, I mean,
miniatures.
like,
So there we go. How cool
just
is that, right?
as-
That's pretty cool.
as an art form
Next
and
up,
just as really
are those
cool
terracotta
stuff.
models the
Like,
biggest models in Old World.
really, they're crushing
Might
it
be,
the
might
past
be,
few years
might
with
be.
really
The
cool, new,
Skylanterns
dynamic
huge.
looking
Yeah,
models.
Skylantern stands really tall.
Because
That
it's
ties
on
in-
a brand new base as well.
I know a lot of
and
people
then on
that
a
just-
flying stand. And
They don't
then
play,
that
they
balloon
just
on top of it.
put
So
the
it's
models together and
price-wise,
paint
I
them and
think
put them on the
Skylantern
shelf
takes
just
it.
because they look
Well, in
awesome.
fact, this answers my next question, which was, is the Sky Lantern attached to its base purely from the plastic parts? No, it's got the flying stand. Okay, final question then. Who are Cathay's biggest rivals in the Old World?
Ooh, they don't have a rival.
You know,
Arguably, they're amongst the oldest and most
They don't have a
powerful
rival.
kingdoms in the Old World.
but they particularly
Full
hate
stop.
Forces of Chaos.
Oh,
right?
they absolutely loathe chaos.
Okay. So if you wanted to have if there was a rival, if there was something that stood up anywhere near to the forces of Cathay, it would be the Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, cool. Anything else, Ed? Any more in the chat for now?
Lots of questions I think might get answered later on as we go on. Actually.
Fair enough. In that case, we'll move on to the next segment of our show, and it's time to move on from the old world and take a look at what's going on in Kill Team.
Oh, okay. Necromunda. Oh, Kill Team. Wow.
Here we go. Kill Team Typhon is the next release coming for Kill Team, and it's extremely exciting. We have got a big box here full of loads of miniatures and the much asked for, much waited for Tyranid specific Kill Team is here in the form of the Raveners. First of all, before we go any further, very quickly, Alex, where is Typhon set and who are the combatants?
So we are still on Vulcus, we're in High Basilicus, the Great Gun has fired, and when it does fire, the backdraft sort of levels everything around it. One of the things that sometimes happens is that sinkholes open up, and when they do, that allows access below the Great Gun, and so what happens is the Adeptus Mechanicus send out these teams of sacrificial servitors.
Oh, that's cool.
Go and find some of the archaeological bits that are hidden down there. But when they've done so, they've awoken some Raveners.
Love a good
dear, you don't
Tyranid
wanna wake
model,
Raveners, it's the
too.
worst thing to do. Because in this box, we have the new Raveners Kill Team. 5 miniatures in the Ravenous Kill Team. You'll also notice there are some Hormagaunts in the background here too, but we'll talk about the Hormagaunts in just a second. But the Ravenous Kill Team is 5 models, and you can make quite different versions here. You could make them onto Ravener Warriors if you wanted to, as you see in 40k, but you can also make it Prime, as much as other things we're going to go over in a second. Alex, Raveners are powerful and terrifying, right?
Indeed.
Those
they're
are really
powerful,
cool.
Live, driven by an all-consuming hunger. Reports say that sometimes they can be deposited on a planet, they burrow through rockcrete, armor, flesh, all with the same level of ease, and they can basically hide out for years, if not decades. And that seems to be what's happened here on Vulcus. As you mentioned, these can be built into several different sub-varieties. So you've got the Prime, who's a nodal hub for the brood and coordinates the rest of them. The Feltalon, with claws that pump toxins that can then be tracked. The Venom Spitter that, as you can probably guess, spits venom.
Makes sense, yeah.
The Wrecker, which is a heavily muscled armoured version, which can break through into bunkers.
Dang,
My
those are
favourite,
all really
Tremor
sick.
Scythe. It's got a hypersensory array to detect vibrations and chemical signatures like fear. And as you said, the rest can be warriors.
Now, if you've ever played Space Marine 2, you'll have come across the Raveners in there, and they burrow through the ground, and that just so
Yeah,
difficult
they're
to deal
really
with. And
annoying
that
in
comes
Space
through
Marine
in Kill
2.
Team as well. They actually have a rule where you draw a tunnel as the game continues, and your warriors and your Raveners can just pop in or pop out of that tunnel as the game continues, really confusing your foes. If I tell Kill Team players these guys have an APL of 3 apiece, that makes them super good, and they can all fight twice in an activation.
I don't know much about
which
Kill
is
Team, but I know
terrifying
that's
too.
good.
Yeah, absolutely monstrous foes. Only, I think 5 models is one of the smallest Kill Teams, but they are
Only
they are
5?
They are real big and
Wow.
tough. Lots of wounds, lots of APL.
That'd be why.
Terrified. Maybe not quite as terrifying, but pretty cool as well. The Battle Clade coming alongside them in the box set. These are an Adeptus Mechanicus Kill Team, and someone in the chat earlier on said, "I'd give my soul for an Adeptus Mechanicus Kill Team." We're going to send Slanesh knocking on your door anytime soon. But Alex,
Careful
tell us
what you wish
about,
for.
tell us about these guys.
So these are led by techno-archaeologists who specialise in hunting down arcana and exotic resources. Alongside them, they've got the Servitor Underseers, that guy that seems to be floating there. Basically, these guys specialise in reprogramming and controlling servitors, translating the mission into complex subroutines suitable for their charges, but they can be a bit enthusiastic about the acquisition of more servitors, so if you do happen to have one of these guys float by, be careful they don't steal them. So alongside them, you've got a whole host of various servitors. You can have gun servitors with servo stabilizers.
I'm not real
and
big
even
on the
techno-medics,
Mechanicus
which is
designs.
a rare willingness to heal the fleshy parts of servitors.
But those
because
chunky
if you're on
dudes are
a
pretty
mission
cool.
Far from the forge, sometimes needs must.
Needs must, right? Absolutely right. What's quite cool on the tabletop, these guys have a rule called the Noospheric Network, where they can transfer power from one server to another. One maybe shuts down and transferring as an APL over to another one, which is really good fun. Different services have different rules. We've got the Breacher services, you can knock holes through walls, and the Gun services and Combat services carry a huge array of exotic weaponry, including a heavy arc rifle, incendiary igniters, and phosphor blasters, which all sound terrifying. Great fun. Now, coming alongside those two kill teams in the box is the dossier, of course, which is where you would find the full rules for both the kill teams, but also has really loads of extra stuff in there as well. You see all the tokens and things, the cards that come in the box. Inside the dossier, you'll find the Joint Ops and Adversary Ops mission packs in here as well. The Joint Ops is really good fun. That's where the Hormigants and the Rippers that you get in the box that come into play as well, because there is a tree campaign for playing through the narrative of the Tyranid invasion on high facilities. And the Hormigants are your NPO, non-player
those
operatives
Hormigants
that you get in
gotta
there, with full
gotta
data
glow
cards
up.
and
Those
rule
are really
streams and
cool
those
looking.
to fight against with your friends, which is quite good fun. But also in the box, people have noticed,
like
we showed
weird
off on
front
one
spike
community, a little while ago, the Tyranid Infestation Terrain Kill Zone upgrades. Tell me what we've got here.
So you get spore chimneys, capillary towers, gestation sacks, shard spewer growths, underbrewed mounds, capillary roots.
I love a
spore
good
vents, and
gestation
yes,
sack.
There's a lot. Chimneys and vents pump out spores, capillary towers act as conduits, so when the Hive fleet arrives, that's where they're basically going to get all the biomatter up from. And gestation sacks, well, you can probably guess.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's such great
Yeah,
terrain
it's disgusting.
and a really nice way of really adding a lot of flavour to your kill zone. And in
Wow.
standard games, they provide light cover or heavy cover, as you might expect. But actually, in the joint op missions, they're also used
knew
as
it.
objective markers for you
Tyranid
to
terrain.
investigate or destroy, or spawn points for Tyranid reinforcements to come out of, which is terrifying as well. It's just a beautiful set of terrain, and it's really nice to see some sort of classic Tyranid terrain from yesteryear made into a plastic set for your battlefield as well. Tyranid players all over the place, you want to get your claws on these. So there we go. That is Kill Team Typhon coming very soon. Got a little bit of time for some questions again from the chat. Ed, anything else we want to fire our way?
Well, obviously, the big one is for both kill teams, are we going to see rules for them in 40k?
So right now, of course, we do have rules for Raveners in the Tyranid Codex already, which you can use these models to represent. Are we going to see full rules for both kill teams in their entirety? Well, we're not sure yet, but keep your eyes on Warhammer Community, and there may well be more news coming on those soon. Yeah, watch Warhammer Community for that one, I reckon. Anything else, Ed?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions about the Imperial Knights Codex and Chaos Knights Codex. Just keep watching. Obviously, when we get to 40k, we'll cover those. Is this part of a Hive Fleet Typhon offensive in the lore?
Ooh, so as I mentioned before, basically the Raveners could be deposited on a planet well ahead of the Hive fleet and can stay there for years, if not decades. So it could be a precursor to an invasion, but it also might have been, a little offshoot. So we don't yet know.
Fingers crossed it's not a full invasion there, right? For the sake of the Imperium.
Fingers crossed it is a full invasion.
You stay on your side, sir. Anything else, Ed, that we want to go over?
Yeah, final thing about just, obviously, we've not had Raveners for quite some time. In terms of build options, are we able to see just, a full unit of normal Raveners? Is there an ability to build multiple of each one? Basically, what we're going to do with that kit.
So basically, the kit you can build, you could build all 5 Raveners as a Ravener Warrior, which is essentially the Ravener you can see in a sort of Ravener squad in a Warhammer 40,000 game. There's also full rules for Ravener Warriors in Kill Team 2, so if you wanted to build 5 Ravener Warriors, you could use that as your kill team, no probs at all. As for the other options, you get enough bits to build 1 of each, so 1 Prime, 1 Wrecker, 1... I forgot the names of the other ones. 1 of each of the other ones you can build there as well, so not multiples of those. All right.
That's everything.
It'd be a really cool supplement for a Tyranid army
It's
for
time to move on.
40k.
What we got next?
Indeed, we're heading to the Mortal Realms.
There we go.
Fight action-packed battles in Shaiish, the Realm of Death, with the new Warhammer Age of Sigmar Spearhead Gaming Pack,
Ooh.
Sand and Bone.
Here we go. The good bits.
Lead your forces to victory in fun, fast-paced games using streamlined rules. Each Spearhead box contains all the miniatures you need to take command of a balanced and thematic army, with rules and updates available to download for free online. Obliterate your foes from a distance, impose a grisly tithe on them, devour them whole through gluttony, or shred them with cold-blooded savagery. The choice is yours with 4 new spearheads. March forth into the realm of death and prepare for battle with Spearhead, Sand and Bone.
Oh, cool. New terrain and everything.
Very exciting. So this is Spearhead Sand and Bone. This is basically the new expansion for Spearhead with a whole load of new and exciting additions. You fight in 2 areas of the Realm of Death. Double death!
You love this, don't you?
Double
Yes,
death.
You've got Ossia and Delorean.
Nice.
Basically,
New board.
2 sides of that board.
Oh, that's
with
just
a whole new
wicked
set of
cool.
scenery. Now, I notice here we've got the Necropolis, Blood, Delusion, Grief, and Night, the 5 Mortarks that we know of. And they basically reflect sites of ancient power, dread temples to those
Dang.
but they're not set out in the same way that we've seen before.
No, you're right. There's a nice little variation between the Fire and Jade, the previous games as well, to give you really good variation on your games depending on which realm you fight in. You'll also notice that on this board in front of us, the green one here, you've got one huge objective in the middle with the other 4 smaller ones around it, which makes that central one super important and exciting to play over. And if you look on the top left of the purple board there, that one's only got 4 objectives on it, but 2 of them are super close in the center of the board. So
That's
going to
make some interesting
Both boards
games.
really sort of want you to get into the action and fight, which is great fun.
I'm gonna have to get
On
this.
the screen as well. We've got some new terrain features here as well. This is the new mystical terrain that's being added in, which can either be set up on the board at the start of the game or maybe brought in through one of the twists in the game as well. We've got the Crypt of Blood, where your fighters can take an unholy draft and try and best their foes at combat, but at what cost? And the Icon
Cable
of
Chief, what's up?
Melania,
Really
which is
cool
the
terrain.
statue
Yes.
there, which you can sort of call upon the veiled promises of the icon.
I'm looking at that
and
terrain,
maybe
just
it'll help you,
thinking,
maybe it
I
won't.
haven't even
Bit
finished
of a big
painting the
risk there.
terrain
There's
from
nice
Fire
some
and
cool
Jade.
options
So
in here as well.
It's like
as well
halfway
as
done.
new updated battle tactics and commands and twists and everything to really make you feel like you're playing in the Realm of Death. So
dang,
it's a
that's
very
really
different
cool.
experience to Spearhead is right
That's
now.
a must.
Great fun and definitely one to get your hands on.
Must
But
purchase.
alongside this box set, we've also got some new spearheads coming. as
YOLO.
well.
Yeah.
So the first one we're going to have a look at is the Ogre Moor Tribe Scrap Glut. Now, basically, you're going to have your hunter in the center with a bunch of Noblars around, as well as those
Okay.
8 Iron Guts. Now, they pack an absolute punch, don't they?
They really
got little
do.
grots
They
and
really do.
gits.
They're terrifying. Don't get anywhere near them. But yeah, a really hitty spearhead, that one there. We've also got the Seraphon Sunblood Prowlers as well. For the Seraphon fans, who are these guys?
Indeed. So these basically have the Hunters of One Chi. They're able to scoot forward, and then you've got that big block of Saurus warriors, all led by that Sunblood pack.
Yeah, terrifying in combat. The
That's
Hunter's
pretty
Punch
cool.
will definitely go for nipping around and grabbing your battle tactics. But if you don't fancy being quite so mobile, you could instead go for the Cities of Sigmar Fusel Platoon and just shoot people off the table with all your guns and your crossbows.
Indeed, they're a mobile
got lots
very
of
brigade,
dogs.
basically with 2 elements. You've got the Wildercore that move.
They
up
got
the
that
board,
dog in there.
and then you've got those 2 units of Free-Guild Fusiliers that basically form an
That's a
impenetrable
shooty
line
army.
of Pervases.
They're even better. They get better on their saves if they remain stationary. But of course, you won't score many battle tactics by doing that. But I tell you what, if you want to go for a smaller, more elite force, take a look at the Ossiarch Bone Reapers Mortizan Elite.
Wow.
It's just 9 models, but what 9 models they are.
Oh yeah, when we talk about sort of the Ossiarch, we're usually thinking about rank after rank of formidable troops, but the Mortisans of the Order of Ossifactors will assemble.
Did I say
these
they were
kind
gonna
of
have more
cohorts to,
spearheads?
improve their bone
I wasn't
shaping skill in
expecting
battle.
this.
And as you said, it's a highly elite force.
Yeah, there's not a model there that hasn't got at least health 4, and most of them have a 3+ save as well. So these guys are tough. There's not many of them, so good luck trying to score your battle tactics with those guys, because you're going to have to really think about how you do it. As a tactician might have to with the Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
Yes. Now, that's not all there is for the Age of Sigmar. We've got the Scourge of Gairan. Now, this is an exciting new seasonal event building up to the launch of the General's Handbook in summer. Now, on the run-up to that release, there's going to be daily articles on Warhammer Community with short stories in video form, along with new rules updates. These could be regiments of renown, battle formations, enhancement, but every faction is getting at least one updated War Scroll card for an existing unit.
Cool.
That's right, and they're going to be match play legal from the release of the new General's Handbook, which is going to be the climax of the Scourge of Gairan season. We see that new General's Handbook arrive. It's that time of year. Here it is, and the difference here with the General's Handbook this time round is rather than just being a book, it's actually a complete box inside which is your 72-page book. You've got your battle plan and battle tactics cards. There's manifestation and War Scroll cards as well. We've got the 6 objective markers in there too. It's a complete product for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar General, which you want to get your hands on. Tell me where we are for this season.
That's pretty
So
cool.
This is War in the Jade Realm. Gairan is sometimes considered sort of a place of abundance, with Hammerhall Gaira being the breadbasket of Sigmar's domain.
Fried
However,
chicken
the
dog,
realm of
Keith.
life is
Fried
rife
chicken
with
dog.
Disease,
They're the best kind of
hellish
dog.
fires, mercurial forest spirits, monstrous insects, rapidly changing seasons, Nowhere is safe.
That sounds awful. Sounds like a perfect place to have your battles of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Now, in terms of how the rules are going to change for this season, well, we're not going to tell you too much right now. In fact, we're going to ask you to just go back to the Warhammer community website. In the future, there'll be some hints here and there and some build-up over the Scourge of Garin to find out what's in the General's Handbook. Keep your eyes on the Warhammer community website and definitely sign up to that newsletter as well. With that done, it's time to take a few more questions from the chat. Ed, what are folks saying out there in the world of Chatland?
Okay, I've combined a couple into one here, which is Fire and Jade still going to be supported, and will old Spearhead boxes still be allowed to play in the new Spearhead rules?
100% yes to both. So Fire and Jade is absolutely going to still be available. You can download the rules for free on Warhammer Community already. You can get the rules in the Ultimate Starter Set as well for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Will your old Spearheads still be usable? Yep, absolutely no problem at all. It's an expansion to the game. It's not a replacement, so you can use whatever you like to in the game. So just there's more ways to play Spearhead, which is great fun for all.
We've got another great question. One of our viewers has noticed that the Seraphon are led by a unit rather than a single character. How does that work?
Indeed, do you want to take this one again?
Yeah, okay, so yes, you're right. Some of the we've seen some of the spearheads being led by units. We saw it first with the Gloomspike Gits. We're being led by that Snarl boss on his Snarl Fang. We've also now got the Sunblood pack leading the Seraphon, and the Man Trappers leading the Ogres as well. Some of them work in a different way. So the Ogres sort of is a hunter with a few tokens around him, with the little models representing tokens and things to put down. Whereas the Sunblood pack, the Saurus, are actually 3 different models. Now, they actually only have 3 health apiece, so together they make up a 9 health unit, but they're still pretty tough. Yeah, that's how they work. It's actually really nice to see. I'm a big Warhammer Underworlds fan, and it's really nice to see some of the Warhammer Underworlds warbands being brought out and used in Warhammer Age of Sigmar in different ways as well. So it's just really positive. Cool. Okay. Anything else?
We've got a lot of 40k questions still coming through.
Oh well,
into the next section.
We'll go into some 4K later on.
Any more Sigmar?
But before we do, there's more stuff coming in the future for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So let's take a look ahead at what's coming in the future.
So, Bubble
Coming now,
Boys.
we've got the Soulblight Gravelords, followed on by that Spearhead expansion, Sand and Bone, and then the General's Handbook.
Taking a look a bit further forwards into the future, we have the Ideneth, Deepkin, and Nighthorns are going to be up very soon with the Blades of Khorne and the Caldron Overlords on our way as well.
And then looking even further into the future, ooh, I wonder what that could be.
That could be one of. I got at least 3 things in my mind, but I tell you what, guys, if you're out there, if you've got an idea of what that could be, let us know in the chat, and we'll
Oh, how they tease.
That's a good one, actually. That could be. I've got at least 2 in my mind. It could definitely be. Right, with that done, it's time to take a move forwards into the 41st millennium. And boy, have we got a lot of things to show you.
Still no Bubble Boys.
Let's start off then with the chapter approved deck. It's that season.
Maybe in the summer.
We've seen the General's Handbook already. It's time for the chapter approved deck 2025 to 2026. Now, this season, we're going to see this new deck, which functionally works the same as the current chapter approved deck, but with updates to missions, objectives, and formatting. So, going to be really good for players to get hold of. Crucially here, it actually includes missions specifically written for incursion games, which are 1,000-point games with unique deployment and updated muster rules for smaller games. For example, it's a rule of 2 for 1,000-point games with up to 4 battle lines instead. That's going to be quite fun. We can also see on the screen something called Asymmetric War as well, another new format which we've introduced for the chapter approved deck, where attacker and defender have different deployment zones and different aims within the game. So it's a much more unpredictable experience, and it's designed for 2,000 points and above.
Interesting.
Instead of secret missions this time round, we've got challenger cards in the chapter approved deck. A challenger is a player trading by at least 6 victory points who can choose a challenger card or draw one, and these new cards provide a stratagem and a mission. Players can choose to complete the mission or use the stratagem, but not both. So similar mechanic to
Just like
if
Spearhead.
You guys have ever played that before. So nice little way of getting that player back into the game. And crucially here, this deck is designed to have lots of different ways to play 140,000 match play, to give you real replayability in your games and to make your games much more exciting and fun when you play them. So there's lots of you don't keep having repeat missions, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's the chapter approved deck. Coming real soon. Make sure you get your hands on one of those when it drops.
However, that's not all that's coming for
There's loads
Warhammer
coming.
40,000.
There's so much coming.
We've also got the World Eaters.
Here we go.
There we go. I
They're
called
coming
it.
with the Gorestorm Slaughter Pack Battle Force, including a whole host of 8-bound jackals, as well as the Slaughterbound, that brand
Oh my
new hero.
gosh, they're so
this guy,
pointy
where
and
8-bound has
red.
Sort of 8 demons trapped within him. has basically taken on a bloodthirster that's given him exceptional
Oh my
strength.
gosh, they
With
all
them,
look like
they've got a
Angron now.
Brand new codex. And within that is obviously going to be all of your rules and background for the 12th Legion.
His arm is a
the
sword.
Scarthrax, all the warbands and characters, as well as the Red Angel's Gate, where Angron first manifested on Armageddon.
You're absolutely right. We've got a Slaughterbound. This is the new hero who's going to be coming into play for the World Eaters. A monstrous hero who can lead 8-bound or exalted 8-bound into battle and is so angry, Alex, that he rages at them and returns slain models to life, which is
So
terrifying.
angry he can't die.
So, absolutely right. The Codex is coming as well, of course, including 5 new detachments.
Tasty
You can
Slaughterbound
include Khornate
indeed,
demons
Clint.
in your army.
Yeah,
Much
be sure
like
and check it all
Emperor's
out.
Children, it includes Slaneshi demons in the army, and one of the detachments
You'll like
is the
these.
Khorne Demonkin, where you can use an enhancement to have a Lord on a Juggernaut leading Blood Crushers and Flesh Hounds as a unit, which is just great fun. And there we get, you know what? Talking of Khornate demons. Well, we've got a little something to say. and it's
Speaking
over
of
to Ed
Khornate
in Apology
demons.
Corner.
Yeah, so Karanak should be in the Codex Demons Index. He's not, and we know that everyone wants it, so have no fear. He will be
I
back.
really don't wanna have to
when the
fight
World
that
Eaters
dude.
Codex comes out.
Ooh.
Both in that and also in an updated.
He's so
index.
cute. More dogs.
There we go. Good news for all you Khorne Demon fans. Our apologies, guys. We're going to fix that mistake when that book drops. So thanks for that patience on that one. But right, keeping on the Chaos theme, what else is coming?
Indeed, we're going to see the Death Guard. So
Oh,
Death Guard, likewise,
Death Guard.
have the Pox-wrought Vector Battle Force with a Fetid Blight Drone, Lord of Poxes, Plague Burst Crawler, Blight Lord Terminators, Plague Marines, a whole host of disease-ridden bodies, along with the Lord of Poxes. So these are the masters of airborne contagion, constantly pumping out a foul, fetid smog with that miasmic turbine on his back, and it acts to both screen their advance and as a weapon.
Yeah, it's horrible, that thing on his back as well. He basically doesn't let enemies too far away from him see him at all. That gigantic
Dude's got
sword
his
on his
Elden
back
Ring
is
greatsword
a great
on his back.
plague blade. And let me tell you, when I tell you it's one of the most powerful combat weapons in 40k, it's great. Again, the Codex includes lots of detachments. You can have Nurgle demons in the book. 6 detachments in there, including one that's very demons heavy, and one that lets you have an unending horde of Poxwalkers, just as you'd hope to see, which is cool. And you know what? Let's round off the unholy
bag of
triumvirate
filth on his back.
of chaos. We've got the Thousand Suns.
Yes.
I
they've
called
also
that
got
one
the
too. Here we go.
Foulband Battle Force with a bunch of sorcerers, Scarab Occult Terminators, Rubric Marines, and you can see there at the front,
Oh,
those
weird.
Scimitar robots. So these are mechanical constructs with features
Those are pretty
of ancient
cool.
prospering spirits or tutelary demonic servants, and they're saturated in sorcerous power with runes of misdirection and illusion. One of their key features are their psychically controlled bodyguards. They're threaded through with spells.
They're really
of prophecy,
leaning into
so you
that
can essentially
Egyptian iconography, aren't
attacks
they?
on their master, able to jump in the way of bullets or move them out of the way.
They're actually also able to foresee
It's
where the
cool
enemy's
that
gonna
they
be as well,
just,
which
like,
allows
went
this
even
unit
more
to use the Overwatch strategy
Thousand
for free,
Suns.
which is terrifying, especially when they can be armed with heavy warp flamers as well as missile racks and melter guns. These things are terrifyingly tough. They actually count as vehicles as well, which is cool because one of the detachments in the Thousand Sun book lets you take loads of vehicles, so you can have a robot heavy force if you want to. Great fun. Of course, Tzeentch demons are in the Codex as well, as you'd expect from these books at this point.
That's
and
pretty
in the
cool.
Crusade section, you can plot and
Chaos
scheme
Space
with great
Marines are
plotting in
eating good
Crusade as
today.
Well. And talking of the Codexes, we've seen already the Emperor's Children.
That
having
is a lot of fog,
absolutely
Neil.
Beautiful limited edition Codex, and you know what? We're doing the same with the 3 others we're releasing as well. Of course, on the screen you can see the World Eaters. We've got the Death Guard and Thousand Suns coming too.
New
These
World
books, Alex,
Eaters
are
book.
absolutely incredible, aren't they?
Oh yes, these are absolutely chocked full of.
Oh yeah, they're going all
little
in,
bits of
just like with
memorabilia, that
Emperor's
limited
Children.
edition codex.
That's really
However,
cool.
They look cool on screen.
They really do.
But in person, physically, they're much better.
Right.
And Ed, you've managed to get your hands on them, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna it's gone 2 a.m. The studio was not occupied, so I went in. I thought I'd nick them. So we've got this beautiful slipcase that comes apart, a nice, almost torn cover. We've got 3 parts to each book. We've got the codex itself with gilt-edged gold pages, some really nice artwork in each piece as well. So every book's going to come with 5 pieces of relevant themed artwork for your god.
Wow.
Those are gorgeous. I've had a cheeky look at them myself. And then we obviously have a large slipcase with gilt-edged data cards, stratagems. We've got our metal tokens for objective markers. And finally, we have this really nice solid metal medallion that we can make. And they all magnetize together. for one large metal medallion. That is so weighty in hand. I feel like I want to use this as the objective marker instead of the smaller one somehow.
That's really cool.
Completing the quadrant there is the
For the low price of $5,000.
I do feel like I've got power coursing through me somehow. Maybe it's the adrenaline for getting my hands on all four of them.
Those are absolutely stunning. There's going to be very limited
Only
edition there,
800
maybe only
payments of
1,600 copies
$39.99.
each available
Yeah.
when they go on release. So if you want one of those, or even all four
Yeah,
of those,
like
make
I
sure
said,
you
I
get
don't
one as
I don't
soon
really
as you
dig on the
possibly can,
Chaos Space Marines,
because I reckon
but
they'll be-
those are
they'll
all
be hot-
just
hot- they'll be
really
selling like hotcakes.
well
So
put together.
there we go.
collector
That's the limited edition Chaos
sets.
Codex is coming very soon. But I've had
Good
enough talking
grief
about Chaos
indeed,
Stuff.
Clint.
We've
Good
got some other
grief.
cool stuff coming. It's time to go a little bit Imperium as the Grey Knights are seeing their update here too. Alex, what have we got
Oh,
here?
Grey Knight
This is the
update.
Santic-
Finally.
Santic Conclave Battle Force with the Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight, units of
They needed an
Brotherhood
update too.
Terminators and Strike Squads. So they're also getting their new codex, chocked full of all the background.
Cable Chief.
The Grey Knights are basically super
They're-
anti-demonic forces with their armor threaded
Dang.
through with psychoactive circuitry. And the Dread Knights in particular were made to combat the most horrific
I don't care what people
monsters,
say.
namely
I like the Grey
Knights of
Knight.
Demons. Now, this is an update
Dreadnought.
to that Dread Knight kit.
It is
The-
indeed.
the
We've
Alien
had the rules
3
for a Grandmaster and
suit.
a Dread Knight for a little while, but now
I think
we've
it's
actually
cool.
got a full kit to represent the most heroic heroes of the Grey Knights in a Dread Knight ready to fight those greater demons with weapon upgrades, including the Subliminator, the huge psychic
giant
melter,
book on
and
top.
a Nemesis mace, which is what this thing has in common.
Golly.
Massive psychic blunt force trauma, which can destroy
The
enemies.
baby
And there's
Bjorn.
also a Nemesis
Just-
flail, which is sort of like a Morning Star
take it
version
all,
as well,
man.
which is
Just-
coming here as well. So we've got new weapons of that guy and a great new addition kit. It's basically like the Nemesis Dread Knight kit with an upgrade sprue in there as well to make it into a Grey Knight Grandmaster, which is just cool. In terms of the codex, Grey Knight players can expect to see rules like Gate of Infinity still there, slightly tweaked. We've got 5 detachments in there covering lots of different army styles, including the Santic Spearhead, which covers vehicles and walkers. So you can have an army of Dread Knights and Dreadnoughts if you wanted to, which is great. And in
course.
Crusade, you can stave off Chaos incursions with the aid of vision sent to you by the Prognosticars, which is cool. I like the sound of that.
Now, speaking of prognostic,
Those are pretty awesome.
The Grey Knights have foreseen an invasion of a world that has previously been invaded by the World Eaters.
Aha, of course. This is the new Crusade book, Armageddon.
Yes.
And Armageddon is a war zone that will be familiar to many veteran Warhammer players. Alex, why is Armageddon such a big deal?
Well, it's been the site of many horrific invasions. Now, the world stands directly in the path of one of the Blood Crusades. It's splintered on all Keld territories in Golgotha. However, they've descended to plague the whole sector. Now, the amount of blood that has been spilt has basically fed the Red
Not a
Angel's
complete
gate where
Grey
Angron
Knight
has
refresh,
emerged
no,
into Armageddon.
but-
And as such, the Conqueror has heeded the call and
They do
arrived.
look really cool.
So the World Eaters have descended to Armageddon itself, but they're faced with regiments of the Death Corps, Logan Grimness Space Wolves, High Marshal Helbrecht's Black Templars, and the Grey Knights who have foreseen this invasion.
This is so cool. What a great way to kick off a new war zone. And this actual book itself is a Crusade book. And if you've never played Crusade before, it's a wonderful way of linking your games together in a narrative sense, where your forces get enhancements or your units get upgrades as you go along. And it's a really cool way of playing 40k. If you've never played, I seriously recommend. We're playing at the moment,
Oh, yes.
and it's great fun. You can either choose to defend Armageddon, to attack Armageddon, or perhaps be one of the third party there of just not quite sure which side you're going to represent. Maybe you'll decide later on. And there's a tree campaign inside the book for all those 3 factions as they sort of take the battle to the enemy over the course of Armageddon. It's great. We've got Crusade badges in there. There's a focus on epic heroes, mighty deeds, fighting hellscapes as the barriers between warp and reality just merge. And what's really cool as well is there's rules for unbound demons flocking to your game as sort of non-player characters sort of running in and just taking both sides and just causing complete havoc as there's a demonic incursion on Armageddon, which is just great. So yeah, seriously, Armageddon Crusade coming very soon. Hey, do you know what? Armageddon does sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
It sounds this
Armageddon sounds awesome.
Planet Armageddon.
Microsoft Surface.
An imperial linchpin plagued by invasion and constant bloody warfare. Now the Blood God's followers swarm across the planet's ravaged surface.
There's all Ang
On the
Lee.
brink of annihilation,
the world's defenders issue a desperate plea for aid. Will anyone answer their call?
Hello? Oh, here we go. Oh. Oh, no.
The Adeptus Astartes must halt the demonic tide.
Dope.
That was incredible, and everybody there will have noticed a whole new raft of space wolves.
Oh, they're here. The
Oh,
Space Wolves are here.
they're
We've been waiting for them for a long time. And it's great to see a fantastic new range of miniatures coming your way for the Space Wolves. Let's take a look.
New combat patrol?
I mean, look at these.
Stunning.
It's just we've waited and waited, and here they are. This, in particular, what we're seeing right now is the Space Wolves Army launch set coming to you soon. Included in there is the new Wolf Priest, the new Battle Leader.
Those
new
are
Head
awesome.
Takers, the Blood Claws, and the Grey Hunters. We're all getting new miniatures there. We'll talk about all of these. They got the new Codex in there as well. Oh wow! What a force!
What are they
let's
doing
have a
to
look at
me?
some of the models a bit closer, shall we?
It's
Starting
like-
off with the Wolf Priest. Now,
I'm already so
my,
deep in
my
the hole
compatriot Simon here
with
tells
stuff I
me
want to
that
buy.
aside from a random Games Day miniature some 20 years ago, this is the first time Games Workshop has done a Wolf Priest miniature, so it's great to see. And I'm right in thinking this is a kind of mix between an apothecary and a chaplain.
Indeed, their duties are to observe the warring tribes of Fenris and to sort of select potential aspirants. They harvest gene seed, they tend to the wounded, but they're also spiritual advisors preparing their brothers for
Is that
mental and
Ragnar in the
spiritual
front? That's a
trials.
It's
really
nice. This
sick
mod's
model.
actually got quite a few options here as well. You've got head options, helmeted, bare heads as well. In
That's pretty
game,
cool.
you can
What even is
restore
money?
wounds to units that you've joined, and also add one to melee wound rolls, the Litany of Hates. It's got rules from both the Apothecarium and the Chaplaincy as well, which is just cool. Also in the box set, we've got another leader, the Wolfguard Battle Leader. Might be my favourite model of the box, this one.
That's cool.
It's so cool. Again, lots of options here. Helmeted, bare heads, different weapon options as well. Who are the Wolfguard Battle Leaders?
So these guys are members of the Wolf Guard, and they're deputized into leading warriors on the battlefield. They're essentially the equivalent of a Space Marine lieutenant.
I wonder how many
They're
Warhammer
in
fans
temporary
are
positions,
also
but
drug
they'll
dealers
walk
on
the
the
last
side.
Years, decades. So temporary is an odd term to use. They've got access to ancient and powerful relics from the Great Company's armory, and when the Wolf Lord falls, it is from amongst these Wolf Guard that his replacement is found. So giving them experience in these leadership roles is invaluable.
You want these guys leading your units into combat, specifically your Wolfguard Head Takers, your Grey Hunters, or your Blood Claws, which is the next new unit we're going to have a look at here. Look at these. What a great update on an iconic Space Wolf unit. These guys are the sort of the
Sell
newer
drugs to
Space
fund the hobby.
Wolves.
Yeah.
Loads of options all over the kit, including different heads and things as well. They're wearing slightly lighter armor than other Marines as well, so they look like they're a bit newer. That suits their background, right?
Yeah, they're young and impetuous, and they need to prove themselves.
Young
tend
and
to themselves in
impetuous,
battle.
those Space
Like all
Wolves.
chapters, training is harsh and extensive, but battlefield experience is the most valuable, and so the Blood Claws are not discouraged from taking up positions in the vanguard.
That's pretty cool. Like, now, as Blood Claws
gonna
have been
sell
in the past,
plasma
these guys are
tomorrow.
Combat Centre, carrying their Astartes chainsword and their bolt pistol. But the big news here is, like all Space Wolves infantry in Tacticus armor, they are movement 7. So they're faster than other Space Marines because they're desperate to get into combat. They're cunning hunters as well, allowing them to reroll 1s to wound. And if the target is in range of an objective, they can reroll all wounds, which is pretty cool. Just like the Grey Hunters, who are the other iconic
Well.
Space Wolf unit, which we are seeing new models for here as well. Again, all plastic, loads of options for the pack leader, lots of options all over the kit to really personalise your Marines, which is perfect for the Grey Hunters, as they're more the veteran Marines, aren't they?
Yeah, so they've survived long enough as Blood Claws to become Grey Hunters, and this is when the Canis Helix is really presenting
those
a
are
bit more
just-
apparently.
they're
So they've got
dripping.
Grey hairs, fangs,
They're
rougher
oozing
skin,
cool.
All of those like canine developments that we love with the Space Wolves. They're really close.
I know I said earlier that I think Space Marines in general are kind of boring,
They're stalwart and reliable and
Space
hold that
Wolves
sort of
and Grey Knights are
fire
kind of an
against the Blood
exception.
Claws. They're a core part of your Space Wolf force.
Absolutely core. But these guys are great at everything. They have a Astartes chainsword, so they can pack a punch in combat. Each Marine carries a bolt carbine, allowing them to fire up to 3 shots apiece. The pack leader can have a power fist or a power weapon. But the big news here, as well as the fact that they can move 7 inches like the Blood Cores, is that this unit are OC3 apiece, which makes them absolutely perfect for holding and capturing objectives from the enemy. They are absolutely core, and I hate to admit it, but they might be one of the best core battle line units in the Imperial forces. So yeah, get your hands on, or your claws on some of these if you possibly can.
I foresee
up
the
next, we've got
Daka Daka
the elites of the force, the
getting a
head
run for their
takers,
money.
and they're hunting wolves.
So the head takers tend to be from those Wolf Guard who still retain some of their youthful recklessness, and they specialise in hunting down enemy champions, beasts, warlords.
They basically
and
come
Sven
already
Brazilian wolves
painted.
with them are
Yeah,
closely
yeah.
bonded to them, and it's so strong that it's almost as if they act as one, like an instinctive coordination.
These are elite infantry, similar to Blade Guard veterans you might recognise from the Space Marines. They have loads of options. There's 9 interchangeable head options in the kit for your bare helmeted or your bare heads or your helmeted. There's lots of
bare
in
heads
the
for the Space
Wolf,
Wolves.
kits, which is great
That's
because that really suits them. You can give these guys different weapon
Gotta show
options.
off
They
those
can come
Viking
with a mastercrafted
hairstyles.
power weapon and shield, or a pair of mastercrafted power weapons for 6 attacks apiece. The head takers and hunting wolves fight as separate units on the battlefield, which is quite interesting. So you can run them around separately. You were talking about the sort of going for the big monsters and the champions there. Before the game, you select one enemy unit to be your quarry, and they get devastating wounds and precision when targeting that quarry. And when they've killed it, they just select a new unit and a new quarry, which is terrifying. Excellent. Of course, inside this box, we're also seeing the Space Wolves Codex supplement as well. Like I said, this is in conjunction with the Space Marines Codex as well, but it contains full background on Space Wolves faction, the colour section with loads of cool shots of the miniatures, army rules, everything you expect from the Codex, of course. There are 3 detachments inside, each with their own theme and their own saga to complete. Complete your saga and get additional rules, which is really cool. And in Crusade, there are new Oathsworn campaigns, expanding on those in Space Marines Codex. So the Space Wolf theme saga to complete, earn deeds of making, exclusive battle traits, scars, agendas, everything else you expect from Crusade as well.
Indeed, my favourite little aspect
Them
of the
look
Codex
neat,
is
indeed.
The little asides, the little addendums that are added to it. And there's a quote from an Inquisitor here that I think really sums them up. They are deviants all, these Space Wolves, uncouth and lacking in honour, informal and without discipline. They respond with contempt to direct orders, scoff at Lord Guilliman's Codex Astartes, and treat the orders of Imperial commanders with contempt. And I think that sums them up perfectly.
Yeah, and an awful lot of Space Wolf players I've met as well, to be fair.
Shots fired.
Well, that's an incredible range of miniatures coming for the Space Wolves. And what's more, that's not all. There's going to be more coming as well.
But wait,
We just haven't
there's
shown you everything
more.
yet. Expect some more characters, some more elite units coming too. But keep your acute senses fixed on Warhammer.
At the very
Community
least,
website,
I need to get one
where
of
you
those
can get
Space
to see
Wolf
more of those
commanders
in the very near future.
on my shelf.
That's great news for Space Wolf players.
Even if I
That
don't
range
field the
of
whole
operations we've been
army.
looking for, and it's here. Congratulations, guys. But let's have a look now.
That's
over
just
to
too cool.
Question Corner. Ed, folks have got to be happy about the Space Wolves, right? Surely.
They are indeed. There's lots of love for Space Wolves. Space Wolf related question though is, do we know if Thunderwolf cavalry are still going to be riding across the battlefield?
So we're not going to answer any questions about that right now because the Warhammer Community website is going to give you more details about what's going to be included in the Codex coming forward. There's loads of articles coming about that. So just keep your eyes on Warhammer Community for now, and all your questions will be answered right there on the website. And sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, for definite.
Yeah, but a couple of questions that have been asked since actually before the stream started, and they've
Okay.
been asked throughout, so
Eager.
it's time to come to them. Imperial Knights, obviously on the last roadmap, they appeared as one of the next codexes. Now obviously we've got Chaos sort of coming at a similar time. When can we see Imperial Knights, do we think?
We will answer that momentarily.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Still to come,
Interesting.
essentially. Chaos Knights, do you know if they're ever getting a named character? That's another question that's been asked since the beginning.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be real pedantic here, but in White Dwarf 509, they got 2 named characters in the combat patrol. So there we go. That they already exist. As for other named characters in the future, I don't know, to be honest with you. Again, keep your eyes on Warcom. If we haven't talked about it here, we can't mention it yet. Warhammer Community's got all the information you need, guys.
Yeah, so tied into that, again, we've had questions about the release dates, the limited edition codexes. Again, same thing, it'll be announced on Warcom. Another question about them, though, is are they all releasing at the same time, or are they staggered?
Ooh, that's a good question. We don't know when it's going to be released as itself, but then we'll see other stuff coming out later on as well. Release dates and everything completely up to other people other than us. Again, Warhammer community and the social media channels are the place to look for that. And I know we've got burning questions we want to answer, guys. We can't say everything quite yet, but keep your eyes on Warhammer community. That's the place to look.
I do have a potential lore-based question. Obviously, we're coming back to Armageddon. Wouldn't be Armageddon without Old Man Yarrick. Now, is he still around in the lore?
As we saw from the Astra Militarum Codex a while back, Yarrick is, as far as the Imperium is concerned, deceased. There was a great memorial for him. So, unfortunately, no.
It got so serious. He's dead.
Well, at least, yeah, it's a pretty much hard no.
Sorry.
The Codex Astra Militarum.
He did.
There was a body.
Sorry, guys. He's an old man no longer.
Sorry, guys.
Hope that answers
Sorry
that.
you had to
We've got
learn
all
it
yours
this
to speak,
way.
I guess. Anything else, Ed?
Yeah, again, there's just lots of questions about, new minis, what might be coming next. So again, all those will just still be.
Do you know what?
Check out Warcom.
We would love to answer all those questions, guys.
Yes.
And as hobbyists ourselves, we totally understand, but we can't say everything right now. Just keep your eyes on the Warhammer website and you'll see all that. In fact, should we take a look right now, a little look further ahead at what might be coming next for Warhammer 40,000?
So, coming up first, we've got the Thousand Suns. They're going to be marching in with those new Sector robots. Then we've got the Space Wolves howling in, the World Eaters. Finally, the Death Guard are going to make a slow trudge up the field.
They're coming quite soon as well. It's saying right now on the screen, so they're coming real soon, which is good news for all you Chaos fans and Space Wolf fans. Now, what's coming next? We've got the Black Templars, we've got the Grey Knights, the Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights are stomping over the horizon as we speak.
And then a little bit further on, these are
Salamanders,
coming.
Imperial Fists, and
pretty
what is
sure I
that,
can get at
Votan
least
in the
2 of
middle?
these.
Yeah, me too, but they are definitely interesting. And in the far future, something's coming. It's a shadowy shape. What could it be?
Looks like a Space
Let us know in the chat
Marine.
What you think that could be? Because I've got a couple of theories, certainly. What do you reckon? I reckon there's a few theories.
I've got an idea.
Yeah, me too. So there we go. That's what's coming for the future for Warhammer 40,000. We've got just enough time for a couple more questions. Ed, is there anything else that's burning people want to know?
There's a lot of questions about Warcry, where we're at with the current edition. Obviously, we've still got a lot of Warcry miniatures out at the moment. We've got any updates on Warcry?
Nothing to report at the moment. Again, keep your eyes on one. It's going to be the same answer pretty much. Just keep your eyes on one community for all updates as for that sort of thing. Anything
I
else?
don't recall.
Yeah, are these Thousand Suns automatons related to Vashtor in any way?
that's a good
They've got the
question.
dark mechanic.
Ooh, time will tell.
Time will tell. Vashtor, of course, is the sort of the dark mechanic of the Chaos Forces, right?
Yes.
Has he perhaps built them, maybe?
Oh,
I don't know.
These are ancient robots,
Oh,
so
okay.
these have been around for a very long time. But that's not to say that Vashtor isn't going to have some sort of hand in anything technological. He's happily shown up at the Pariah Nexus. Obviously, he's got wormwood. It wouldn't surprise me if his claws got all over the place.
There we go. Do you know what? That's been an absolutely brilliant show. We've seen some fantastic releases, some fantastic previews coming up. What we saw the Old World. We saw
Chaos
Quality.
Dwarves.
Oh, yes.
Come on.
Space Wolves. All those 40k releases for the Chaos factions.
Yeah, the new Spearheads coming for one.
They're gonna show something at the very end.
Of the show so
They always do.
I'm awfully tempted by the Raveners and that Kill Team box, but I think
Come on.
it's going to have to be the Grand
Chaos
Cathedral
Dwarves.
Dragon.
Yeah, beautiful model. And for me, I think I'm a Spearhead fan, so I'm really looking forward to playing Sand and Bone.
Sand and
Can't
Bone
wait
is
to
very
see some
cool.
painting
I'm
of
gonna
the
have to
Space
pick that
Wolves
up.
as well. It's going to be good. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us here on the preview show. Just a quick one. If you want to see any more pictures and information about what we've shown here today, make sure you're going over to the Warhammer Community website where you can have a look at some more pictures and check out more information. And also sign up to the newsletter there as well, which is where you'll get all the first information. You can sign up to our social media, which is again where you'll see loads of pictures. You can see on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X. Sign up there and get all the information straight to you. And also, this weekend at Adepticon, we have other streams coming right here on Twitch as well. So if you want to see the Warhammer 40,000 Championship or the Warhammer 40,000 Team Tournaments, they're all being streamed over the next 4 days up until Sunday. So do check them out right here on Twitch. Thank you to everyone involved behind the scenes, behind the camera. Those of you in the chat, Notley, you absolute legend. Thank you so much indeed. Alex, Ed, it's been a real pleasure. I think that's it, guys. I think we're signing out.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Bye.
No.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
They showed some cool stuff. We'll give them that. My Bubble Boys haven't been featured yet, but they are coming soon. So yeah, that's something. Wait for it. Wait. Oops. Are they going to show something else? I doubt it. I think they're actually done. It would be pretty funny if they just showed this screen for like 5 minutes and then they were like, oh, by the way. James spamming the boo button. Yeah. No, I mean, they showed a lot of really cool stuff. It wasn't stuff that was, you know, my armies that I have and are personally interested in, but a lot of really cool stuff. I'm probably going to have to get some of those Space Wolves models, paint those up and put them on the shelf, because some of those are really cool. As well as the Cathay Empire shipping company, the Chinese dragons, very cool. Let's just say they're just Chinese dragons. That's it. Clint Valrak. Last time they teased Emperor's Children after this screen. Oh, really? Let's see. Let me. AOS Roadmap suggests no new minis until at least July. Sad. I mean, I think they're done. I think they're ending it.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
Well, there you go. There you go. Okay. But still, a good showcase. They showed a lot of really neat stuff. Old world, getting a cool new army. Very neat. New kill team box. Those Tyranid models look pretty cool as well. Man, if you're into Chaos Space Marines, you are just in heaven right now with all the love they're getting. And good for them. That's really awesome. Poo. Yeah. But, you know, more cool stuff on the way. I'm really pleased with that, the new Spearhead expansion. That's really cool. I'm going to have to pick that up. I'm going to go ahead and go over to Warhammer Community. And because usually they post that stuff. Yes, they did. Here we go. So yeah, they got it all here. Showing it off. Space Wolves, New Crusade, World Eater's Death Card, Thousand Suns, Mission Deck. Yeah, this is Sand and Bone. That's really the big thing for me. That I am interested in, which, you know, I definitely was not expecting that. But man, the board and the terrain just looks so wicked cool. Honestly. Hopefully they're not going to charge an arm and a leg for the board and the terrain and the new cards and such, but oh, here we go. We got some better pictures. Ooh. Yeah, if you're into vampires and death stuff, like this would be fantastic to have just to put on the shelf with like a vampire or Nighthaunt army. Very cool. I love that they have like different board orientations now. This one's only got 4 control points. Make for some really interesting games. Lots going on right here and right here. I'm excited. I really want to see what these new cards entail. That's really awesome. I'm really looking forward to that because I love Spearhead. That's definitely my favorite way to play Warhammer at this point. Just because it's the simplest, and I'm dumb, so I can wrap my head around it. I know how it works, so I can play it. I'm glad Cities of Sigmar got a new Spearhead because to hear it told, the other Spearhead is just garbage, rules wise. So hopefully the cities people will rejoice in having another option. But I mean, you could get both and have a really cool full-sized army for regular Age of Sigmar, which is really neat. But I'm glad they included the Ogren dude with the little turret on his back and all the little doggies, all the puppies. Let me zoom in on this image a little bit more. Enhance. How many dogs we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 doggy boys. That's pretty cool. And also this model is really neat as well. But I dig it. That's neat. The Sunblood Prowlers as well. Cool new Seraphon. I mean, for my money, the other Seraphon Spearhead is way cooler because it has the giant Carnosaur, which, you know, which I got, you know. You can't beat giant dinosaur riding another dinosaur. Or dinosaur riding a giant dinosaur. He just chomps. He chomps and chomps, and it's awesome. So there's that. What else did they have? Yeah, the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Interesting that they're going with like a super elite spearhead with just 9 models. But that looks pretty cool. I like that they're throwing out some, you know, potentially unbalanced things. It'll be interesting to see how the win rates change when these new ones release. I'm not super into the Ogren or the Ogor Maw tribes, but again, it's cool that, you know, new stuff is coming out. Very neat. So yeah, and then the General's Handbook stuff. Pretty cool. Lots on the way. This is what we're interested in right here. Caradron Overlords coming next. So it's probably going to be well into the summer before we get anything close to a whiff of Caradron Overlords. But, you know, that's fine. I have so much stuff to paint. It's ridiculous. I mean, the boat alone is going to take me like a month to paint because it's massive. So yeah, Seraphos Storms. I'm exactly as interested in Warhammer as I was before this, but it's nice to have a bonus stream. Now we have the Switch 2 announcement coming up in a few days, probably Elder Scrolls 4 announcement too. I saw that they're having a Nintendo preview something, not a state of play, but a showcase. And they specifically said there's not going to be any Nintendo Switch 2 news in that showcase. But the one in April is like a week away. It's like April 2nd, I think. It's exactly a week away. So I'll probably be here Wednesday next week. So they won't show it in the evening when I'm available, but, you know, that's fine. So yeah, all in all, a pretty decent showcase. Last Olympian, I'd love for you to do a time lapse of the painting. I would love to do that too. I've got lots of plans for more like painting streams and things like that on the horizon. We'll see. Most of the time, I use painting as a way to spend time at home with my wife, and because I'm over here a lot, streaming and making videos, so it's nice to be over there and just spend time with her and paint stuff in the same room. But yes, I would definitely like to do some more painty stuff. I've got a lot of kind of character models and things that I've yet to start painting on, so I would like to do some time-lapse video kind of things of those getting painted, because they deserve to get painted. Like Helbrecht for the Black Templars, which I got for Christmas. He's still just sitting over there primed in black. Brett Play Game. I like more streams that aren't just gaming. Cool. I will take that under advisement. I like doing streams that aren't gaming too, because I don't have to bring my PS5 over here and hook it up, and then when I finish, pack it up and take it home and hook it up again, which is what I do every time I stream a PS5 game. So yeah, it's nice to not have to do that. It is just nice to hang out, Brett. And, you know, honestly, half the time I'm streaming, it's really like the video game featured during the day is really just an excuse to hang out with you guys. So it's fun to just chill and chit chat and talk about our day. You know what I mean? Anyway, this was fun. I'll be back tomorrow night with more Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. I believe I have another. Obviously that tree kind of kicked my butt. The tree boss kicked my butt yesterday. We're gonna have to dispatch him. We'll see if I need help for that, depending on how many times he respawns or how many trees end up coming to life to kill me. We'll see how that goes. I also suspect that there's another boss in the Shadow Keep that I have yet to uncover, and that is going to be a pain in the neck. So tune in for more boss action, an Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree tomorrow night, regular time, 8 o'clock. You'll get him, no help needed. I mean, I got the pig, man, and I need to get some pork rinds to celebrate. Maybe I'll get some pork rinds tomorrow so that I can bring them to the stream to celebrate his death while irritating everybody with all the crunchiness. So there are some brutal bosses in Erdtree. Yes, there are. There are several that I know exist and I've seen memes of that I'm afraid of. I'm legit afraid of. ASMR pork rinds. Yeah, I don't think anybody's into that. Like, middle-aged man eats fried pork skin on the internet. Listen to it intently. I don't know that anyone wants to witness that. The internet has enough weird stuff without me injecting more into it. So yeah, you. I'll do it just for you, Last Olympian, just because you've earned it. You've earned whatever you want on the stream, really. But let me do a shout out real quick. As usual, James Loves Games, brought to you by Turbo KDA, Justin S, Rena Habak, Nasa43, Nikki B, Shining Lugia, Lightstripe, Imbulan, Brett Williams, and, the Last Olympian as well. You've been a supporter for so long. Your name deserves to be on that list. Whoops. So yeah, thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for indulging me in my Warhammer side quests. $2 for pork. Thank you, Last Olympian. Member for 36 months. You have been. Thank you, Last Olympian. I appreciate it very much. So that'll get me my pork rinds. It's funny. Usually, like, a donation towards the game is just a drop in the bucket, but $2 goes a long way towards pork rinds. So that actually could manifest some real world results. So I appreciate that. Seraph, well, nobody here is into that. If you go to the Chicharrones ASMR route, you should probably show your feet too. I'm sure there's crossover between those the feetarones. Seraph as well, thank you for your continued 3 years of support, both of you. 3 years. Where does the time go? I don't know. It just disappears. It's a construct created by man. Time isn't even a real thing. It's all relative anyway. $2 is a few pounds of pork rinds. Yes. I will probably go to Atwood's tomorrow on my lunch break just to buy some. I kind of want to eat some right now. It sounds really good. A favorite snack of mine that I haven't indulged in quite a while. Pork rinds, Louisiana hot sauce. To use the parlance of the youth of today, it slaps, okay? Otherwise known as it's fire, okay? Right? James is young. It's really good. So maybe I'll get some pork rinds and hot sauce and just make a pig of myself while eating the skin of a fried pig, or the fried skin of a pig, rather, in that order. But anyway, I've gone on long enough talking about pork rinds. I don't think they say that anymore, James. They don't. Well, that just shows my age, because I'm behind the times on what people say is cool. I just say it's cool. It's fire. It slaps. It punches you in the stomach. There we go. Pork rinds and hot sauce flay you alive and rip the skin off of you. They're so good. That's what it is. So anyway, You guys have an awesome Thursday and Wednesday night before that. Have an awesome rest of your evening. And yeah, more Elden Ring tomorrow night. I'll see you next time right here on Pork Rind Stream. You guys are the best.